Aries, hello and welcome to your reading for the week of September 8th through to the 14th. Let's dive right in with the angel deck. We're going to have 5 cards from the Angel Oracle just to tap into your energy, see what it is that you all are manifesting. Right away, we got King of Air with Knight of Water. You know what's funny is that I got for Pisces the same card, King of Air, and it feels like maybe while you guys on the outside could be giving this King of Air energy, on the inside you have a bit of a Knight of Water energy. You guys are wanting to maybe mask some of your insecurities, or you all are actually learning how to speak from this emotional nature that is masculine, so it's supportive, it's non-judgmental, as I read for the divine feminine and the divine masculine. So within us all, we have that capacity. It's not limited to gender. It is just a structural approach to ourself, our feelings, our emotion, and our world that allows for us to see our reflection in another without casting that fear, false evidence appearing real of the reality being so fixed, which Virgo season's helping us to massage our way through. With balance, Archangel Zadkiel will help and will be here to help us to balance things out, to allow for perfect timing to present itself, that moment to present itself, to where if you know your authority with human design, amazing, live by that this week and you will find a lot of things work themselves out. If you don't, De Luna is an amazing resource, as well as Reiki Marco on Instagram. All of them have free calculators and you can just do a little bit of research. It's what I did. I looked up the gene keys. I looked up the originator Raharu of human design to figure out what it means to live by your authority. Wow, more kings. So the King of Fire and the Two of Air came out. So if there is any form of conflict this week, I feel like you will work your way through it, through this temperance, this balance with Archangel Zadkiel, as well as exerting yourself as the passionate, fiery Aries that you are. Don't allow for yourself to get burnt out, okay? I feel like that's very much relevant for me as an Aries rising. When you're feeling sleepy or when you want a break and you have that ability to do so, if you have accumulated hours and hours of time off that are paid, or even need to take some unpaid time off to reestablish your sense of I'm okay, I got this, be sure to do that this week. It feels like there is a lot of momentum kind of going combust and slowing down so that we can see what's landed, what's actually stuck, what is helping us to balance ourselves out, and what's leading to a devolving conflict, something that we would just be better off not even giving attention to. What we pay attention to is what grows. It's what takes center stage in our life. So I was watching a movie last night and it said, gosh, I have to read the note. Oh my gosh. I hope it's written in here. It was something about like, oh, here it is. Here's the notebook. Lucky us. One setting out to denounce, but you end up an accomplice. Don't set out to denounce someone's ways and then end up as an accomplice, if not directly to them, to that energy, Aries. I had it come up for me to where I had to make a decision. Am I going to fuel fire of something similar that I went through and just it left a sour taste in my mouth, or am I going to choose to do things differently after having seen how it impacted me, how it played out with me being in this sense of divine neutral empowerment, the sense of I'm going to live with my heart as my authority. And I would say that if something comes up that challenges you, it's meant to change you. It's meant to put you into your heart as the authority. So I felt these cards saying, let's go for Aries. We have the Seven of Swords. Oh, there's a fox approaching this chicken coop. So with the King of Air, it looks like you might get something that you want, even if other people don't like it. If people are envious or something, I would say to just, detach yourself from what other people do. It has nothing to do with us and everything to do with how they see themselves. If people are gossiping about you, that will just return to them, but it'll return to them in a way that they can see it. That's the whole concept of what is devolving our societies and what is actually uplifting our societies. When people are able to see that reflection very clearly and not feed it, but to disassemble it, to make it less potent, to divert attention to something that is manageable, that is malleable, not something that seems to be fixed per se. With the Knight of Water, we have the Son of Discs. Ooh, I love that this dolphin is going towards this chalice, this cup, and the Knight of Discs knows exactly where to aim. There is a target in mind. There is an objective in mind, Aries, that you all can reach. I would even say through diplomacy and then seeing the truth of a situation, allowing for yourself to see where there's your end. Working with your design is a big one for me this week for you all. Oh, and look at that. When you know you got it all, when you know you got it like that, it's a lot easier to relax. And there is a Taurus there, and I love to point out the fertility stone as well as the fact that Uranus is retrograde in Taurus. So that's your second house of material value. And it feels like no matter how much or perceivably little, depending on how you look at the cup, is it half empty or half full? Even if you only have like one nice outfit and it's kind of dirty, how can you clean it? How can you get creative? Do you have a friend who has a new washer and dryer and you could just say, hey, I'm willing to change favors for you if you let me use it. I got a couple spots on here, and then they're able to do more than that for you and give you new clothes. Or if that's not the case for you, if you have dishes that you love, are you able to actually use them this week to make yourself feel more at home living in luxury? That will be what balances you out, Aries, is taking steps upwards towards this luxurious lifestyle or an ease of process, which perhaps if you're working on a project and you know a few experts, wait until the opening comes. Let them see how it is you present information. This is something I'm personally doing and can share with you all from experience. Let the information present itself. Do your work and due diligence to make sure that you've set it up as best as you can. We all know that Aries has that fiery motivation, and especially with Mars in Cancer, it's transitioned into Cancer. There will be a retrograde at the end of this year, but until that time comes, we have a bit of forward momentum as to where we allocate our feelings, how our emotional foundation supports us, and what we need to do to get rid of any flawed ways of getting what we want that suppresses our emotional nature and tells us that it's wrong to feel. It's okay to feel, it's safe to feel. King of Fire with the Five of Swords with a B, blessed be. We see that stinger, and we see that maybe there's a singer here. Maybe there's someone who's got a voice and they need to get some honey on there, get some steam. I just was reading that you could boil a kettle of water and use a warm towel to just open up the voice and have the ability to sing longer. And with this fiery delivery, this fiery, beautiful passion that is just going to wow your audience, Aries. I also was listening to a podcast with, oh my goodness, now I'm blanking on his name, but he wrote Rick Rubin, The Creative Act. I was watching an interview of him. I love the book. I listened to it on audiobook, and it felt like a meditation. He actually does the reading of it. But he spoke to trying things in a new way, using your voice in a new way. There were artists who have recorded upside down and, you know, found ways to sing what they were being maybe either paid to sing or commissioned to sing in a way that was like, can you sing this song for God? Can you sing this First Time Ever I Saw Your Face? It's like a little prickly. I'm not exactly recalling the artist who was commissioned to sing that, but I do know that Roberta Flack, I believe, had the original version, and Erykah Badu and the Flaming Lips collaborated. However, it's just speaking to the nature of your creativity and how your genius might be on with the fifth house, Mercury in Leo, stationed direct and moving out of shadow. Mercury will be completely out of shadow on the 11th. So on Mercury Day, there might be a forward movement with a musical project or with some sort of vocal, whether it's a podcast, an interview, maybe your voice changes and you really feel it. Maybe you felt it in the past few months, but now it's like more present and you feel it even more. You feel the richness and the tones and the texture all the more, and it's something just to be grateful for. With the Two of Air, we have the Moon. There could be a conflict between your intuition and your logical mind, And in that case, choose the authority of your heart to lead you out of anything that's unclear to you. We do have an upcoming, the moon will transition. I just looked at Saturn day, the 14th, the moon will move into Aquarius. That is you all's 11th house. So there might be something where you had a conflict in society with someone, you had some beef, it got stirred up, and it's just allowing for you to go within, to find that calmness in your center, and to understand how to liberate yourself from these cycles of devolving yourself, of feeding fire with fire, rather than moving as if you were playing chess, having those strategic wins that come through discernment and a belonging with peace, with presence, with joy, with the emotions that are more life affirming, and that allow for you to actually focus your energy on what matters rather than losing sight of it for a temporary sense of a win. That is so Aries. That is so 2023 Aries, where we still had something to prove. Now we have nothing to prove, my dears. We got Bridget, creative spark. Look at her. This looks like the actress from, she's been in a lot of movies. Dune is the first one that comes to mind. Maybe Aries, treat yourself to a movie night and watch the movie Dune, or listen to it on audiobook, or even better, read it. It's such a good book. I love Dune. It was something that I read multiple times, and I read all of the series like maybe years ago. I studied anthropology, so it was something that I was drawn to. I wanted to read it. All right, Bridget, empowerment message. Inspiration and imagination are yours to play with right now. And I would even say you can imagine best case scenarios for any stalemate, any conflicts, any butting of heads, and even in your emotional nature of like, you could play a game with yourself. How good can I make this sensation right now? When you're present with joy, with a feeling of achievement, how much more can you amplify that to attract more of it? You effortlessly connect to your inner creative spark and make meaningful and beautiful experiences for yourself and others. Take advantage of this fruitful time. When you are so in tune, it's like taking a magical trip to the land of the fae, where all that glitters is truly gold, and your life seems like a grand artistic gesture. Beautiful. The fiery Celtic goddess of creativity calls you to play in the artistry of your life, your work, and your loves. Bridget is whispering her sparkling music deep in your soul. Are you listening? Ah! And now, alignment message. Sometimes you get into a creative slump, and you feel frozen in midair, unable to move in any direction. Maybe that's what this is coming about. This bee feels like it could be stuck. And those swords could represent the fall of man if you're in this creative funk and need to come into alignment. That's where focus would be asking you to draw in your energy from any potential conflicts, any potential de-evolution of your sense of self for another person's perspective, opinion. Whether or not it's valid is up to you. Aries, we have to allow for ourselves to be so in tune with ourselves that we know what's just a projection and what's for us to actually do something about at this time, because there's a lot of creative forward momentum available. Perhaps you're unsure of the next step with someone new, or a project becomes a looming behemoth in your mind, or you can't think of anything to say in a social moment. Maybe you think all your best ideas are gone. Bridget offers you the alignment task of moving your attention away and remembering what it was like when you were little, when you finger painted and drew stick figures and played with your pals in the sandbox or playground. What moved you and lit you up is the same creative spark that can move you now. Playful curiosity is what's called for. Don't take yourself or your current conditions too seriously. It's time to free yourself from the burden. Oh, I love that it says to be free from the burden of expectation you've set yourself upon. Don't try so hard. The triple goddess of the hearth, the forge, and inspiration brings all her aspects together to help you sparkle. Amazing. Aquarius, Bridget also has an 8, so it's indicating that Pluto in Capricorn, I called you Aquarius, I meant Aries, in your 10th house. It's saying that you are sparkling, and your legacy is such to where you are the light. You might draw on some parasitic energies, some vampiric energies that want to draw your creative force out. Don't let them do that. Don't get self-sabotaged by falling for the reflection that is not you. I spoke to this in Aquarius's reading. If you put 5 people in a room together, they might all hive mind focus on the same thing. If you put all 5 of those individuals in the room separately and it was filled with objects, they would gravitate towards what was of interest to them. If you find yourself going at it with people, you have to take that 30,000-foot view for a moment. Have that moment to where you realize you're not trapped in the stalemate. You can take steps away from that by tending to your hearth, allowing for Bridget to draw you into a creative ascension. And I sense that that decision is going to be very clear when you can make it. So triple goddess of the hearth, the forge, and inspiration, forging something. That's where, for me, where's the forge? You see this fox? Be stealth. Those chickens are in a coop, but somehow there are 7 swords that that fox can climb to get his goal. I'm not into eating chickens, but if you want to attain something, let's see what the Mother Peace Tarot has to say, because now I need to know. Strategy, yes. Guilt, predator-prey dichotomy, planning a way in. I would say that there is a strategic way to go about getting free of predator-prey dichotomy or guilt, because you can have strategy that aligns you emotionally to your target rather than needing to be the victim or the victor or martyr or villain. You can actually be on target, fall in love with your life, and achieve so much more this week, Aries. I hope you choose you, because you all are wonderful. Until next time, Aries, aloha.